Welcome back to everyone. Yeah. How's the sound? Are you able to hear me okay?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, good. Um, Welcome back. I just want to reveal something right off the bat. I'm struggling with some low back sciatica stuff, so I'm going to be moving my body around and, most people's eyes will be closed, so hopefully it won't be disruptive to you. Sitting is like the most painful position, so I figure I might as well be comfortable so that I can guide you in a more easeful meditation rather than being in excruciating pain. Um, so yeah, and I'd love to use that as a bit of a modeling too. If you're having body pain that dictates that lying down, on your side or your back or your stomach or sitting in a chair, whatever is most comfortable for you, that's what I would recommend you do today. Um, Yeah, so actually, let's just do some gentle movement first. You can stand up or you can sit down and just start with some shoulder rolling and then some gentle neck rolling. I don't go all the way back because I have neck stuff that makes me a little more cautious about doing the backward neck roll, but trust in what your body knows. And then either standing and doing some sort of extension with your spine. We spend a lot of time, especially with work and computers, hunched over, flexed. We spend a lot of time in flexion. So giving your body some extension, you can do it sitting or standing. Yeah, and you don't have to do a huge back bend, whatever is comfortable for your low back. You can place your hands on your low back if that's more comfortable. And just giving that chest area, allowing that chest area to open. And then doing some cat cow. So breathing out, you're gonna bring your back up, and breathing in, your belly's gonna go down towards the ground. Head and butt come up. And again, start doing this gently. You don't need to make the most severe cat cows you've ever done. This is a great thing to do in the morning, especially as we age. The spine loses its its squishiness. The I'm blanking on the word now. The discs lose their pliability as we age, and so doing some gentle cat cow right first thing in the morning, it sort of helps bring a little bit more movement into the spine and reduces the risk of injury. Right. Taking a moment to just close your eyes and feel into your body, seeing if there's any other movements your body wants to do right now. And then getting yourself situated. Mm, Finding the way you want to meditate today. I actually think I'm going to start um, lying down. And for me, on my back, and my knees are in the air. If I had a pillow, I'd probably put the pillow underneath my knees. And some of you may be at work and you don't have the luxury of lying down, but if you do, feel free to do so. I mean, and if you have the luxury of being outside, obviously do that. So, however you're situated, starting by just feeling where your body is contacting the floor or the ground or the chair. So, any points of contact. And eyes can be open. If they're open, I would encourage you just to have soft eyes, not necessarily looking at the screen unless that's what feels best to you. Above all, always trust your own instincts and intuition. Um, it's probably easier to go inward for most people if your eyes are closed, but then, you know, there's also acute trauma, and sometimes it feels really hard to close our eyes and be in a state of feeling kind of alone. So if eyes open or eyes on the screen work best for you, then just try that. And start to begin to notice your breath, maybe even placing a hand on the belly. And ideally, the belly button is rising. If you're laying down, the belly button is rising as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, the belly button goes down towards the ground, belly softening. You're sitting up, breathing in. Ideally, the belly is going outwards away from your spine in front of you as you breathe in. And then the belly is retracting back towards the spine as you breathe out. So just seeing if you're breathing in this way with the diaphragm. Many people breathe just up in their upper chest, or they are doing kind of reverse breathing where the belly sucks in as you breathe in. And that can really exacerbate anxiety. So when I'm working one-on-one with someone, the first thing I do is make sure that they're breathing correctly. Not that you always have to be deep belly breathing, but when you breathe in, the belly should come out at least a little bit. Breathe together in that way for a while. And if it's hard to feel when you're sitting up, it's much easier to feel when you're laying on the ground. If that's a possibility for you. So just place one hand on your belly. It's a lot easier to feel the rise with the in-breath of the belly. Just tracking the movement of the belly as the air goes in and out. And then expanding your awareness to each of your senses. We'll go kind of one by one. First, expanding your awareness to sound. So, not just the sound of my voice, but are there other sounds in your environment? Just listening. It may be that you like the sounds, and it may be that you don't like the sounds. So you can kind of notice, is there aversion in your body? Is there like a wanting to push the sound away? Or is there like a embracing of the sound? Like, I love this sound. And again, we don't need to judge our aversion or our moving towards. Um, but again, it's just like we're noticing sound and we're noticing, is there a human reaction as well? Or maybe it's neutral and there's no reaction. And expanding your awareness once more to sight. And if your eyes are closed, you're still there's still a play of like shadow and light behind your closed eyelids. So whether your eyes are open or closed, just noticing light and shadow, maybe color, just taking in the sense of seeing. And again, noticing if there's any reaction, either aversion or grasping or neutrality. And then taste. We don't think of taste unless we're eating something usually, but sometimes there's a feeling in the mouth. Is it dry? Is it moist? Is there a flavor left over? What's going on in the mouth? So tuning into the sensations of taste. And again, noticing aversion, grasping, neutrality, and then smell. Are you aware of any smells? It may be neutral, there may be no smells that you're aware of, but just tuning into that sense organ and seeing what's here. Noticing sounds like my friend's dog barking and just having that be part of the meditation. Noticing if you had a reaction, noticing, was it neutral? Was it Was it like, oh, aversive? I don't want that. I'm having an aversive reaction. Oh, I'm just working with whatever you've got going on in response to this dog barking. I'm gonna mute the sound for a moment, but before I do that, tune into the sense of touch. So that may be the clothing, it may be the temperature of the air, maybe breeze, maybe the feeling of the ground. So tune into touch. So seeing how being aware of your own senses has brought you into a space, hopefully, of being a little more in the present moment, a little more aware of just right now. And now take a moment to expand your awareness in addition to the simplicity of your senses. Expand your awareness to your entire body and just see what's here right now and see if you can come to a place where you're really allowing whatever's happening in your body, breathing with it, even if it's just for a brief moment, noticing what's here in the body and breathing with it, just like you would have done with another sense. And from the body awareness, now expanding your awareness to the emotional body. So noticing either through the body or the mind, are you having any emotions today? Is anything present in your awareness today? And seeing if you can be aware and allow them to be here. See if you can welcome whatever emotions are present. And if there are challenging emotions that you can just touch on only briefly, then that's totally okay. And one way to do that is to feel an emotion for a moment and then go into a part of the body that feels neutral or okay. So when I work with people one on one, there's another skill that we teach right away is to pendulate between perhaps something more challenging, maybe a challenging emotion in the body, to a place in the body that feels neutral. Many people have neutrality in their ears. Some people, their feet, and it doesn't have to be a big area. It could just be your right big toe. So practicing this where you're allowing yourself to recognize what emotions are here within me today. And if this is a foreign concept for you, if you're not used to letting yourself feel your emotions, be gentle and slow. And there's no, need to get this immediately. This is something I'll come back to. As many of us have suppressed our emotions for lots of good reasons. So don't be hard on yourself if it's hard to feel emotions. And if staying with an emotion and being still is uncomfortable around, feel free to put your hand on your heart. Okay, offering your body comfort where it needs it. We often think of offering another comfort through a hug or smile or a gentle touch, but we rarely think of doing that for ourselves. This is important. Notice if any parts of your body clench in response to an invitation to feel emotion. Not wrong, just notice. I noticed my jaw clenching as I was inviting emotion just now. Most of us have habitual patterns of resistance, and that's okay. We don't want to barge through those protective barriers. We can just notice them. Oh, okay. Be some fear, resistance, or something here. You want to figure it out. You just again noticing, witnessing with it, seeing if you can welcome all of it. Mindfulness is paying attention on purpose in the moment with the intention of being non-judgmental. Mindfulness is paying attention in the moment on purpose with the intention of being non-judgmental. And I would add compassionate as well. Breathing with whatever emotions or body sensations from you now. Something's challenging, you can let your awareness move to a different part of the body or even something in your imagination, comforting person or place or tree or animal. And then again, moving your awareness now, opening your awareness to another layer of being in, which is the mind. Mind with all its thinking and judging and perceiving, and seeing if you can, just like with the body, just like with the emotions and the senses, see if you can sort of view the mind as not self. So the mind is this computer of sorts, it's taking in information, it's spitting out belief systems, and a lot of what the mind does is habitual. A lot of it's repetitive. So when we meditate, we can really use this witness consciousness, this way of sort of leaning back a little bit to watch our own minds. And this is tricky. The mind is the mind is active and tricky. So it's one of the most difficult things to work with. But and I have one of the busiest minds, even though I've been meditating a really long time. And I think the difference is I don't get so worked up about it like I used to. I don't believe that my mind has to be still in order for me to be getting benefit. But I also don't believe on thoughts anymore. And that's a big shift. And that happens, I think, as you meditate more and more, is in the moment, you can more see what the mind is doing. And sometimes it's later, but this training that we're undertaking when we sit together like this, it is mind training, but we shouldn't. There's so many people that I hear say, I can't meditate because I can't sit still long enough. You don't have to meditate sitting still. Just pay attention to what you're doing in the moment, whether you're walking or washing dishes or talking to your friend. Just bring your full awareness into the right now as often as you can when you're meditating. And when the thoughts are, notice them. And ideally, time we work on not beating the crap out of us in our own heads about the mind wandering. It's super normal. Mind wanders away from, if we're choosing to focus on our breath, the mind wanders. Oh, well, you see it, and you come back to the breath. And in that way, you're doing these like reps in a gym. And the more reps you do, the more your wiring in your brain actually does. And there's good studies on this. Our brains are so plastic, they're able to really shift and change with repetition. Just the simple act of breathing. No, oh, now I'm thinking. You can label it thinking if you will. And then back. So let's practice together way for the remainder of our time, about 15 minutes. And allowing the mind and the awareness to move. It moves. It moves from senses, emotions, thoughts. It's all moving. So see if you can practice being in the seat of witness where the object changing all the time, but you're watching it all from this place that's aware of it all. And when you lose that sense of the witness, then just come back to the breath. So the breath is a good way to sort of have this connection to the witness, because the breath is always right now. It's always present in the present moment. It's always ever changing. So it can be a useful anchor, a useful touchstone. you back to the present moment. So again, be comfortable, be at ease, and moment gently bringing yourself back in and to the present moment. Seeing if you can have compassion for exactly how you are today and whatever you're experiencing. Giving yourself gentle touch or movement, hand on the heart if you need it, responding to what your needs are today. And noticing any habitual clenching that your body does that can make sitting down, meditating more difficult. So we're not forcing the body to be any different than it is, but there are these habitual tension patterns that most of us have that we're not even aware of that sometimes come out when we get still. This a lot of the commonplace is the shoulders, the jaw, the mouth, the hips, the pelvic area, sort of clenching these areas, but you may have others. So if you notice that, it can sometimes be helpful to imagine that you can direct your breath. And again, it's all imagination. You can direct your breath into this area of holding or tension in your body. And on the out breath, imagining these muscles and ligaments and everything softening. I'll even whisper inwardly when I breathe out, I'll just inwardly say the word soften, just inviting my body to know that in this moment it's safe, it's okay to let down a bit, okay to relax. And if that doesn't happen, it's okay. The body has its own wisdom and its own time, and you can breathe into an area and energetically invite it to soften, even if physically the tension remains. I'd like to invite you once again to expand your awareness to all of your senses: sound, sight, taste, smell, and touch. Using the senses to help you come back to the present moment. When we're not activated, this can be much more easy, but practice when we're in a state of calm or more presence, we can sort of build that muscle so that when we are activated by another person or a circumstance, it's more likely that we'll remember, like, oh, feel my feet on the ground, feel the breeze, see what's around me, look around. Practicing this sensory awareness can be a real asset during the inevitable times as humans that we're going to get triggered and activated. And we're going to complete our meditation today with 3 ohms in a moment. And what I'd invite you to do is to really feel the vibration of the ohm, of the sound moving through your body. If you're in a workplace or something where you can't make sound, or you just prefer not, then imagine how the sound might feel vibrating through your body. So whenever you're ready, breathing in. Oh. Oh. Om. The fruits of our practice today spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere. Namaste. Bow to each one of you. Thanks for taking the time today to be with us and to create. And if you haven't had much this week, you can get it. I would strongly encourage it. I'm just realizing I've been seeing a lot of my clients outside and realize nature is just so healing by itself. Like, you don't even have to do anything. It's just the trees, you know. We have so many beautiful parks and county parks in the area. Yeah.